one of the phrases I use in my teaching, or one of the principles I use, is never put pressure into brace. And
Mm-hmm.
so to translate that for non-horse people, pressure is kind of the generalized term we use for the energy that we use to ask a horse to move.
Mm-hmm.
So pressure, and then pressure gets politicized in the horse world as a bad thing. And
Mm-hmm.
so I'm like, well, we could give it another name because pressure sounds pretty pushy.
Mm-hmm.
But let's even just say the energetics of volition,
Yeah.
right? So if you're putting like an ask,
Mm-hmm.
and you can map this back to the marketing experience or the client service offer experience, um, we're so accustomed to pushiness. We're
Yeah.
so accustomed to operating in this culture in threat response, and
Mm-hmm.
that's where like the grind is where it happens,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
it's just even these outdated market, free market ideas of like survival of the fittest. And I'm
Mm-hmm.
hearing this new term go around now. Might have been Tara Brock I heard saying this. She was quoting someone else whose name I can't recall, but survival. No, no, it's not survival of the fittest. It's survival of the nurtured. And it's like, hell yeah, it is. It's in safety
Mm-hmm.
where expansion happens.
Mm-hmm.
So, back to this idea of us being so accustomed to, so I teach students don't put pressure into brace.
Mm-hmm.
Because if the horses are, so brace meaning like resistance,
Yeah.
physical resistance,
Yeah.
which fortunately in a horse is very readable.
Mm-hmm.
So if you start to adopt this as a practice for all things, and it's really just a physics,
Yeah.
so if there's resistance, you don't add more push.
Mm-hmm.
You're typically gonna get push back.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas the same question, and I'm saying question where else I might say the ask,
Mm-hmm.
like the pressure,
Mm-hmm.
like I'm going to ask the horse to move, I'm going to apply pressure when there's not brace.
Mm-hmm.
So still the same question, but it's a difference of timing.
Yeah.
Their body is now open, and you ask, they might now say yes
Yeah.
to the same thing.
Yeah.
Here another energetic example. If you've ever used a rotating door. You go into
Yeah.
like a
Yeah.
big hotel or
Yeah. Yeah.
something and there's those rotating doors. If you've ever been in a rush and you try to make them move faster, because they work by like air pressure, I
Yeah. Yeah.
think,
Yeah.
if you try to make it go faster than it is physically capable of going,
Mm-hmm.
it will go slower.
Mm-hmm.
The door will move even slower than it would have if you just
Yeah.
let it be.
Yeah.
So I guess we might modify this yes no binary of consent to one of entering into the relational energetics
Yeah.
of opening and closing,
Mm-hmm.
passivity,
Yeah.
sometimes the asker being in the mode of passivity,
Mm-hmm.
which we've all been taught nothing happens in the passive mode.
Yeah.
Quite incorrect.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sometimes what your passivity will do is neutralize the other being's brace,
Yeah.
and in neutralizing their resistance,
Mm-hmm.
an opening happens.
Mm-hmm.
And now not only might we've got a
I
horse
got
here,
mystery.
fortunately she's gentle. um, Not only might they then be willing to say yes to your question, but in fact they might even come seeking you
Yeah.
for the thing and you don't even have to ask the question.
Yeah.
So one quick thing here, the actual etymology on consent
Mm-hmm.
is to feel together.
Really?
Like the
Love
answer
that.
is right there in the word. The definition might be something about giving permission and permission being expressed as a yes or no, which is a
Mm-hmm.
linguistic utterance. But if you look into the history of the word, it's telling you it's to feel together,
Yeah.
feel for those openings, feel
Yeah.
for those closings.
Yeah.